Companies create the games, the consumers buy the games. Then we get the large split. You see, after every game comes out, we as consumers react differently.
Be happy.
Be pissed off. Be somewhere in between the two. While almost all forms of media want you to believe that the two far spectrum reactions are the only reactions. People read these posts from one another and believe that this is how the entirety of people are reacting to a said game. For example, if you support something that is within a game despite its flaws or mechanics that may be broken, but you enjoy some aspects of it, you're a diehard supporter of the game. If you're critical of an aspect of a game or the developers, then you're a hater of the developer or the game. Now, I believe there are a large number of people that feel torn between these two, but feel as though they're forced to react and feel only one of two ways about the game. This isn't to say that every single thing said or reported is this way. However, I'm noticing a growing sentiment that coincides with today's society, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to look at Battlefield 2042 as an example for this. Battlefield 2042 is a big letdown for me. I had very high hopes and was a huge Battlefield fan. I've played almost every single game in the series and I grew up playing 1942. You know, it's incredibly upsetting to see the state that Battlefield 2042 launched in, and rightfully so. There's a lot of people that are really upset. You know, DICE calling it a love letter to the fans was a huge slap to the face. The fact that Battlefield 2042 wasn't even shown in the earning reports to its investors shows just how badly the game has underperformed. And EA knows it's underperforming after their earnings report also clearly stated this. On top of this, they have to somehow spin this to become a win. Otherwise, it will flop and nobody will want to buy another Battlefield title again. Overall, though, when I was playing the game, I did enjoy aspects of it. But how does somebody who's on the outside make a decision on looking at getting the game? You know, one of the ways to identify these stances on games is through different social medias and game reviews. Steam reviews are always sought after when looking into purchasing a game. You know, I always like to look at what the community has to say about a game over the official game critics, because people like you and me are going to say a lot different things about the game than your official gaming journalists. Now, this can be incredibly challenging when reviews turn out to be people not giving a single pro versus cons list or some type of positive about the game. You know, for me, there are typically things that something has at least done well. You know, Battlefield 2042 had a huge review bomb upon review bomb from the community. And I think that EA had this coming because of all the pent up anger from the community. You know, it's no surprise to gamers that EA pushes a lot of games out on the market and absorbs a lot of companies. They've shut down Visceral Games, Maxis Software, Mythic Entertainment, Victory Games, Phenomic Game Development, DreamWorks Interactive, Black Box Games. I could go on. Not to say that Battlefield 2042 doesn't deserve the reviews it has. It's just difficult to create a full understanding on a game and then make a decision to purchase a game from community reviews alone. You know, this perception from someone who is thinking about getting Battlefield 2042 or trying it out is that it's one of the worst games to come out because of these reviews. I don't necessarily agree that it's the worst game ever to come out, but I will say this. For a Battlefield title, a multi-billion-dollar company, and the franchise in general, it is pretty bad. I believe that if it didn't have Battlefield in the title, I think it would have been received a lot differently. Still not as polished, still not perfect, but another FPS in the genre and not making many waves. You know, with a lack of content coming out, this game is struggling to stay afloat, especially with Season 1 being pushed back. This is going to be very challenging for Battlefield. And I think that if you were to put, let's say, Medal of Honor on the title of this game, I think it would have been received a lot differently personally. But this leads into my next point. The loyal fan bases. Now, there's loyal fan bases have a couple ways of looking at different things, right? If a game flops, there needs to be a justification of their actions for paying for the game and playing said game that they paid for. You know, it's kind of like a coping mechanism when you think about it, to make yourself feel better. You know, these loyal fans often hold a bias on that game as well, making it hard for conversations regarding the game and things that could be improved. Now, this doesn't just sit with the people that like the game. This goes for people that absolutely can't stand the game, who have so much emotions and so much time wrapped into the Battlefield franchises that they just feel like they've been ripped off, that their favorite franchise is crumbling right in front of them, and it's upsetting to them. So you have these two spectrums on each side, right? You have on one side, people are very upset, very emotional about the fact that they have a franchise that's falling apart in front of them, something that they've loved playing, versus on the other side, you have people that are very emotional because they bought this game and they do enjoy it, but you have both of these sides clashing then. And that's the issue, is that these emotions can get in the way of holding critique on the game on both sides. A critique of things that could be good that the game is doing well, and critique on things that the game is doing horribly. You know, so where do these ideas come from? Now, I spend some time on TikTok and YouTube, and I have Battlefield 2042 videos that pop up on my feed, and I love clicking on them and reading comments because I want to see what the community is talking about. You know, I consistently see comments saying, no, why are you playing this game? This game is garbage. I will never touch this game again. This was the COD killer, and they have a lot of upvotes and likes. On the flip side, you're going to see, well, this game mode is actually fun. I really like this part of the game. This game isn't that bad. Well, I've put this many hours into the game and I enjoy it. You know, these things grow and then they turn into arguments over the smallest things. You know, if someone was enjoying it, cool. If someone isn't, cool. Does it really matter at the end of the day? In some respect, yes, it does. And we could talk about that in other videos because we love certain franchises, we love gaming, and we want to see games be successful because they are games that we love and enjoy to play. And that's where these emotions come from. The problem, though, that I believe this is pushing is when people buy into narratives that are out there. And this is where this conversation kind of started. You know, this game is trash because the community says so. This game is amazing because the community says so. It's across the board in life altogether. You know, I'm not going to get into politics, but I'll leave it at this. There's a push of no gray area is there. It's only black and white area. You know, most things aren't that simple. You know, this is the idea of having to fall in line that it is only black and white. It is incredibly disadvantageous to video games and the gaming world. Rather than being able to have conversations about the game and what could it do to improve, we're left with people pointing fingers at each other and turning into screaming matches. I'm here to tell you this. There is a gray area. Everything within the gaming world isn't just black and white. And to elaborate further within the gaming realm, it isn't just a simple answer because most of the time we have to make those decisions ourselves. While reviews and social media help play a role in assisting us in our understanding and decision-making processes, a few comments and reading of a few game reviews shouldn't be the entire crux and base for our arguments. You know, you don't have to agree with everything a company does. And just because you disagree with something in a game doesn't make it bad, or it doesn't make it that you don't like it, or that you don't like the developer. Most critique comes from the idea that you want something to be better. It's about finding common ground between these two groups and being able to find something that works. So rather than splitting us apart further and further, we need to find middle ground to be able to have conversations together about this stuff. You know, while this is subjective to many, you know, game reviews and player counts are going to give a perception regardless of whether you like it or not. You know, Battlefield 2042 is going to struggle to make continuous sales on Steam because it shows a red, mostly negative and overwhelmingly negative reviews on the game. And here's the thing that I want you all to understand and take home with you. It's okay to be critical, but done in correct taste and not just blatantly complaining. Don't think for a second that a company isn't going to think about making money and how to maximize profits. This last question that I thought was interesting was this. Would you feel the same way about a game if there wasn't coverage on it in a positive or negative light? Meaning, trying it yourself, would you still hold these biases or would you hold something against it? Just something to think about. Ladies and gentlemen, we stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday over at Twitch starting 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to tune in. Take it easy, take care, stay safe out there, and hopefully we will see you in the next video or soon. Take care. I got the shivers.